Hi everyone, my name is Nicholas Gato. I'm a junior finance major here at your College of Pennsylvania, and as you just heard, I'm running for Treasurer of Student Senate for the 2021-2022 academic term. I'm here to talk a little bit about my platform and why I think you should vote for me. So I actually ran for Treasurer back in 2019 in the spring, and I won on the promise that I would bring Student Senate into the digital age. We were using a lot of paper for our processes, and the finance side of things were really no different. So reimbursement requests, additional funds requests, everything would come in a paper form or at best an email, and then it would kind of just sit in a bin until somebody got a chance to look at it. Instead of that system, I created what I call the budget access request system and the club financial system, which basically allow you to submit a request from anywhere in the world in real time using a Google form and then track it in a corresponding Google Sheet. So that was kind of my big initiative for that first term, and I would really like to build on that idea of modernizing Senate, increasing transparency and accessibility, and generally making us function better for what we're intended for, to serve the students, and especially our student organizations who in turn give back to the whole student body and the campus. So how would I do that? Well, first I would like to make some minor tweaks to our existing system. There are a few types of requests that aren't currently reflected on that budget access request form that ties into that whole system of Google Sheets and Google Forms. Things like capital expenditures, that would be like if you're a club sport and you want to buy equipment that's going to last year after year. Technically it belongs to Senate, but we cover it 100% for you and let you use it for the whole semester. The other thing I'd like to add are interest-free loans to that system. So that's a whole other topic, and I'd encourage you to ask me questions about it. But essentially, it exists for fundraising. It just hasn't been advertised recently in Student Senate. Moving into number two, I want to help clubs budget better by extending the timeline. So right now you're given like 3-4 weeks maybe to complete a budget, but that's in the midst of oftentimes elections for clubs. So there are new officers coming in, and we have finals and term papers right around the corner because we're always releasing these budget packets at the end of the semester. At the very least, I think the budget packet should be released earlier, but I think it would be even more beneficial if we gave clubs time during the off season, so during the summer and during a little bit of winter break, so that they have time to really plan out their events and make sure that they know exactly how much money they need. Because there's nothing worse than planning this whole event and then realizing you come up short and you have to come up for an additional funds request, and then you're only going to get 90% of what you ask for. Or you request way too much money and then you get a deduction the following semester because you couldn't spend it all. That's not a good place to be. So in addition to extending that timeline, I also want to have some workshops available. That way those new officers, they don't have to feel bad. They can just come up and be like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Okay, well, we're going to upskill you, and then you're going to know exactly how to build a budget, and you're going to build it to Senate standards. Building on that idea of doing workshops, I also want to have a standalone video library, created in conjunction with our Vice President of Organizational Development and our parliamentarian, and that'll cover everything that Senate does. So not just budgets, but how to form a new club, apply for permanent status, how to make updates to your constitution, heck, how to draft the constitution. I know it's not widely publicized, but when you're starting a new club, there's essentially 3 things you have to do. Come up with a club and a reason to have it, come up with how you're going to use your $150 preliminary budget, and then craft a constitution. And I don't know about you, but I don't have much experience writing constitutions. So I think that would be super helpful. Moving on from that, fourth point on the list, I would like to help with fundraising because, fun fact, Student Senate money can only be used for certain things, and all of the Student Senate money comes directly from the Student Activity Fund. So we try to limit things that only benefit a small group of individuals on campus, things like custom t-shirts and trips that serve no educational value and banquets. So anything really that's fun for a club to do, we can only contribute like this much. So fundraising is an important part of campus life, especially for our club sports. If you want to have a custom jersey, I think that's awesome, but the Student Activity Fund can't be used to pay for it. So how do we alleviate that? Well, I think we should have an official fundraising assistance program, or at least some body that exists to help you connect with the bookstore and dining services and the development office when you want to source merchandise or food for sale, or you want to pursue a corporate sponsorship off campus, because you have every right to do so. It just has to be cleared by the development office. Moving on to the fifth and final item that I'd like to cover, Student Senate has a website, right? It's on our college website. We have a web page, but it's not really usable. So I would like to implement a Student Senate website that incorporates everything that you need for Senate, so you don't have to go to a separate Google Drive every time you want to find something or something's been misplaced. You want to see, did you hit your requirements for this semester? Boom, it'll be listed. You want to access your budget? Boom, it'll be there. Going along with that, I think it's really important that students have a voice on campus. And I know everyone says, oh, I want to be a voice for the students, but how are you being a voice for the students? Well, I really see two practical ways to do it. Either you survey students daily, but I know everyone's had enough of the daily symptom checker. What we could do is start a forum on a Student Senate website, and everyone would have an opportunity to voice the opinions that are important to them. And then Student Senate can gauge how important it really is based on the engagement with those posts. I would encourage you, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But that's my platform. Those are kind of the 5 initiatives I want to work on: upgrading our digital finance system, extending the budgeting timeline and adding some workshops, creating a comprehensive video library so that you don't always have to come to us when you have a question. You can start there. That way you're not waiting 2 days for a response if we're backlogged. Number 4, like I mentioned, the fundraising initiative. I think that's important. Ask me questions about it. I'm still learning, honestly, with that, because it's not something that's been pushed heavily in the last couple years on Senate. Number 5, Student Senate website. Like I said, I think that'll be an awesome hub for all of our student activities here on campus. Think of it like Facebook for your college student activities, but totally customized.